This article recently appeared on my desktop and got me to thinking, why aren't we teaching more women pilots? So what do these women have in common, and how can we get more women into all aspects of aviation? That's the question I'd like to answer.
If you like it, it's addictive.
Yeah. I'm loving this so much.
So let me start by saying that today's video is not a discussion about whether it's natural for men to become pilots and not women. It's not about whether men are better or worse pilots than women. It's not about having a quota. Just about trying to get more women into aviation. And I can't find a logical reason that can satisfactorily explain why 5%, 6% of all pilots are women and 95% of them are men. Here I am sitting at, I don't know what we are, 3,500 feet. We're on our way to the Neil Air Show. But the point that I want to make particularly is that my pilot here is my flying buddy Pauline. So Pauline is a pilot. She's been flying as long as I have, 10 or 12 years. She's a very capable pilot. And to me, we just need to find ways to get more women flying. So as part of the shift, as part of my contribution to try and find and help more women to get into aviation and join together, I asked a group of women to join me for lunch at a local airfield and see if we could explore the differences and find out why particularly that women, or not enough women, are flying. The best people to tell us that, obviously, are women. So, for example, my GP is a woman. When I was a child, all doctors were men. But now my GP is a woman. And I'll put a link above on the screen. I'd appreciate it if you click on it. It's a really interesting video to show the stereotyping that we give to children that are 5, 6, 7 years of age, where they believe, particularly girls, that men do the jobs that dentists, doctors, lawyers and pilots. So I encourage you to have a look at that. So in this group of women we have, there's about 8 or 9, 10 of them now, we have women pilots who have their pilot certificate, recreational pilot certificate. Some have their recreational pilot's license. Some have CASA licenses. Some are PPL, some are CPL, and some are instrument rated. But most of them fly purely for the joy. And that's what I'm really trying to change here if I can. So sit back and enjoy their brief responses. And I appreciate any comments you'd like to make. As I said, this is not about balancing the gender balance and making 50% of all pilots women. That doesn't make sense. But it seems to me that there are a lot of women who would like to join, like to fly, but don't understand and realise that they can do it themselves. So enjoy.
I love being able to take off. I love being able to go up into the air and see everything below me.
I think the training is great because you've got someone in the seat next to you and you don't have to worry about anything. So you can just give things a go.
I think it breaks so many barriers, personal barriers. You have to be physically fit, you have to be mentally alert. It's good. It's good training. You're always achieving a personal best. Once you've been for a flight, it tends to reset your clock.
I had 2 sons who learnt to fly and a husband did their basic training, and then it was my turn.
He took me on a remembrance flight for his daughter Natalie, who was a friend of mine, and whilst I was up in the air really enjoying it, I said, you know, I think I'd like to do this, and he said, you can do it.
Amazing. Love it.
Lovely, isn't it?
Oh my God,
you should be doing this.
I know, I love it. No.
I'll teach you.
I reckon I would love to do this.
Why don't you?
So that was how it all started, and then I started my flying lessons.
And there's so many people, lovely people in the industry.
I'd never really thought about flying, and then we had a friend of ours who had just learned to fly, and he said, I think it's time you learn how to fly. Give it a shot, go up and see if you enjoy it. I got out of that first flight and I was like, there's no way in hell you're going to keep me out of the air now.
And here you are, licensed pilot. Cool.
14 years old and I knew exactly what I wanted to do, and I was like, Dad, I'm gonna be an air hostess, okay? And he booked the flight and I took off, and that was that.
And you haven't looked back?
Never.
Begin to never fly, just do it.
Did you ever think you'd give it up?
No. I think by my second lesson, probably my first lesson, I was really nervous, and I was like, what am I doing up here? And I think that by the second lesson, you had made me feel really comfortable. You'd made me realise I wasn't about to fall out the aeroplane, just to trust the aeroplane. And I think once I realised that, you showed me it's not that hard to fly.
I think when you initially learn, you think you've mastered something, but the longer you fly, when you reflect, you think, oh my God, I knew nothing. I was flying around by myself for a very long time, and I think I've got so much more to learn.
I thought it was a lot harder than it was, and I think it was just making me feel like I was comfortable up there, and then I started to relax, and that was when I actually really started to take it all in.
I am a perfectionist, so when I was so young and I was flying, I was really, why can't I get this? This should be easier. But I really just kept on going, and I was so determined to reach my goal of getting it all done. And now, upon reflection, I can see just how far I've come, how much better my flying skills are.
As I guess a middle-aged person who's trying to recreationally fly, it's by choice. So I'm not doing it for a career path. I'm being extremely selfish, and I'm doing it because I want to and because I love it. So when you've got full-time work and you've got children to consider, your time frame is quite limited about when you can actually go up and fly for fun.
So from my viewpoint, these women have shown that aviation shouldn't be gender biased. They are just as capable as men and derive the same pleasure from flight. But two themes are evident in getting more women into flying. Firstly, they were all introduced to aviation by someone else who also enjoys flight. Doesn't matter whether it's a man or a woman pilot. We need to proactively share our flying passion with others. Secondly, we need to encourage more women to take charge, to fulfill their inherent flying dreams, and that at times can get lost in normal family life. Aviation is such a wonderful part of life. It's safe, it's fun, and is very achievable. You don't need to be mechanically minded, just open to exploring this wonderful space. I'll leave the final word to Kath. I think it sums up so many aspects of the attitude women need to have to propel themselves towards enjoying flight. So enjoy.
So I was flying a small domestic plane, and the pilot very kindly got off to get me my pusher out of the plane so that I could walk Michael back into the terminal. And he was struggling with the pusher, as many men do, and he said, "Oh, I'm not very good with the pusher, but I can fly the plane." And I said, "Oh, that's okay, I can do both."